the music that I play, how I play it, and how I came up.
I'ma give them what they want. She gon' give me what I want. I'ma give them what they want.
Artists, like if somebody handed me these artists off of a Tacos and Tequila and be like, all right, pick 3 songs from each one or one and play these songs in a set to burn a place up, I'd go, all right. And I could take the names and I could put them in, but like order of how I would do it. And then if you compared that to like how they run them, I'm like, what? It's just politics. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are like, we ain't fucking performing unless it's dark. Yeah. It's under 91 degrees. And they're not super princesses, but I get it. You know, I get it. But also it's like, if you're talking about performing and antics and like working the crowd and shit,
you gotta go on.
You have 1, 2, kind of, but then it's opposite of what you'd think. Like you're putting 1, 2, or 3, and I'm like, 3 should be 5, and 5 should be 2, and 2 should be 6. Like what are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean? It's like then you see them headline, and the 4th one went harder than the 5th one. That's weird. See what I'm saying? Like,
you're right.
It's weird. Like, because I wouldn't program that way. I wouldn't program a heavy ass banger and then go, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I feel like Mike Jones' set was, though. He was like,
but he's early, dude. It's like he's 1 or 2 or 3, but like Petey, he's 1, 2, 3, or 4. In my personal opinion, outside of him having me and him being friends, he gets out in the crowd. He walks around. He knows people. I watch the comments, you know, and it's like, which Petey? Because he connects with the people. He goes in shops. He goes and talks. He goes and runs around. He does all that other shit that nobody else does. Mm-hmm. And well, there's a few other artists that do it too. But this is one I know most about. Right. But then you create those relationships, and it's like that's what people want. They want that connection. You're talking about a demographic of, you know, let's just say, excuse me, I look out there and it's like, for me, I'm 40 years old, so it's a dream to go in and just play 2,000 bangers. I just don't play anybody on the list. You know what I mean? Hey, Ashton, we're going to have you do Tacos and Tequila. You want to play 2000s? Oh, you mean the shit that it's like my 80s. Right. You know what I mean? Because you think about that, it's wild too. It's like, I'm 40. So in 2003, you know, Usher dropped. Well, I was like 20-some years old. But then if you take, I was 19, 20. And then now in 21-year-old that's standing at Kelly's, if you play, like, to me, when I was their age, Guns N' Roses, Shook Me All Night Long, you know, Poison, you know, even Montel was 10 years old, but, like, those were cool. But, like, that to a kid now is 40 fucking years, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Usher, to them, 03 is a fucking throwback.
Dude, I was talking to a chick, and
Usher,
she's like, I'm playing old school, and then she started playing Usher, like, what the fuck is this shit?
But for my mind, I had to get used to that. Be like, yo, dude, DJ. And if it's like, say it's a 20-some-year-old, like, dude, play some throwback shit. And I'm like, in my head thinking, the first thing my mind goes to is like, you know, like West Coast hip hop, nothing.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, that's 40 years ago. 30 years ago. I'm like,
that's when that
that's 30. I'm like, that's 30 fucking years ago.
I've been in the DJ set, and I'm like, all right, play some old
new shit. I'm like, did like maybe dropped on TikTok today? I don't have that. I mean, we can find it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you gotta give me an hour.
No, like
maybe it's like, all right.
Yeah, man, it's like, and no matter it's just fucking funny. Because like back in the day when owners would be on your ass about like hip hop this, play this, make sure it's open format. Yeah, we can roll if you want.
No, we're going right now.
I'm saying you can do.
Yeah, we just need to introduce you.
Oh yeah, let's introduce.
Yeah, you
fucking keep talking.
I'm a talker, but no, like that's a point I do want to make though. Like somebody thinking like throwback, I'm like, bro, like I'm 40. Throwback to me or throwback to them, a 21-year-old now is literally Usher. Yeah, Missy Elliott, Work It. Like that's
shit
Nelly.
that you would
You'll play that old shit.
Right. Shoot, a throwback is like swag surfing.
Yeah, like, dude, swag surfing is literally like, it's OG shit. I'm like,
supplies, maybe?
Bro, that shit doesn't even come in my. When I'm DJ, that shit doesn't even register.
Shorty?
That shit doesn't even register in my mind when they say that. I'm like,
no,
this just came out like 2 years ago.
3 songs that are like, there's a 21-year-old girl standing in front of you that says, play some old school. Name 3 songs. 21, 22. She might have braces.
Oh, shit. Old school for her is literally.
No, but think about it. No,
you're Jeezy.
Dude, it could be a month ago. Like, she'd be like, yo, that's so old. I'll be like, is it?
That is very true.
That dropped November 24. I'm like,
and you just found out about it.
The way things evolved has sped up so fast.
Dude, yeah, and then you got some people that are like, Yeah, like tech house, like when, the John Summit, and like you're in a room where they're like really, I was in New York last week and they're really up on their shit for the most part. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then this girl's like, play this, play that. She like Dom Dollar. I'm like, okay, so we're in that 128 world. But they want like the new of this, but yet they don't. It's just, it's a different mentality. I don't know. It's interesting. And music drops like this. Like,
Would you like some more water?
Yeah, probably gonna need it.
Hey man, welcome to the What They Want podcast. DJ Royal, my man Snow over here.
Yep.
We got a wild guest tonight. Wild guest.
Wow.
Is that what they're saying?
we got.
I'm not even caffeinated. I'm just chill.
Man, we got an amazing guest, DJ Ashton Martin here, man.
Thank you guys for having me, for real.
Oh man, we appreciate you coming.
Saw it on the calendar. I was pumped. I was like, wait, where am I going? So, I got the text and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably check in. No, I got to put baby to bed and wait on wifey to get home. I figured we were fine. We came in swinging anyway, did we not?
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Just came in firing.
If you missed all of that, man.
Thank you and good night.
Man, so how you doing?
Cool. All right, what's up? Let's go.
How you doing today? You good?
I'm doing well, man. I just got back from New York. I was in New York last week and played a cool little spot. We were talking about college kids. Little college bar called Phoebes, and then I played a bottle service club. It's actually 3 stories. Has like a slide, has games. You can rent it out. There's a few birthday parties. Corporate clients were in there. And then the main room was kind of like I don't know. It was probably 15, 16 tables, 8 on each side, stage, LED screen, bottle service club. It's cool. I wanted to say open format, but it really wasn't. It's called Slate. There's multicultural to the max, and I had a lot of fun with that. It was super cool. It was super fun. Yeah.
When you say multicultural, are you talking age range or literally multicultural?
Literally multicultural.
Oh,
Yeah. So I've been fortunate in my career where I've done, I would say multicultural weddings is what I'd call it. Like the Laotian, Indian, Asian, Vietnamese. I think I mentioned Lao. Also, Caucasian weddings, African American weddings. I've done the mixed genre, I guess if you would say, like with music, and it was cool. So like I keep these things in mind. So there was a group of Indians on my stage left, and it was like I could tell I know what they were jumping to because I was doing some Moomba, a little bit like some remixes. So I jumped into some Bollywood and some Punjabi. They appreciated that. But having that in my tool belt is pretty cool. The only reason I do is one for Planet Aura, because that's a really, really solid mixed demographic of a room, and doing a lot of weddings and paying attention. So I have these crates for days, like you can just...
Those wedding crates come in handy everywhere.
No, they really do. And everywhere. I think that's a good point, actually. That it is something, because you can look out and majority you're like, you can do the usher, you can do this, you know what I mean? But it's, you look out and you're like, wait, this looks familiar. Let's try this. And you jump into this crate that that this actually, they might be Punjab. They might be from here. They might be from here. Let's see if they appreciate it. You only have to drop a little bit of it. And how cool would that be? I mean, if I went to another country and somebody looked at me and saw a white boy out there and played something American, I'd be like, hey, that's cool. Right. It makes you kind of feel more at home kind of thing. I feel like that's kind of our jobs as a DJ, to bring everybody together.
It is. I've done weddings like that, and they're always scared to come ask for that because they're like, well, I don't know if he was going to have it, and then you just drop it. It's like, all right, so we can get down with this.
Well,
and then they just come with requests all night after that, and it makes the job easy.
Well, it's not really exactly that, and so I take it a step further, and so I will meet with I'll meet with them, and I'll make sure I have it all dialed in, because to be honest, I can't understand the language. Mm-hmm. So for me, I need to know which ones are which, and then once I can remember, excuse me, I used to go to Glendale right before we went to the Super Bowl. That whole year I was going out there, Glendale, Arizona, and I was playing a once a month Hispanic night. It was Latin night, and I would hit up Zammy because I played with him several times, and I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. I can get around, bathroom, baño. I can get myself around, but I'm not fluent. So I would just organize them and know when to play them from playing with him, and to be able to structure it like an open format room. And I would just walk in and play Bad Bunny. Love the dude. But you know what I mean? I would go deeper than that and really learn culturally, like this one would go off. What are they saying here? What does Peppas mean? Why is it going like this? You know what I'm saying? So I try to actually understand it. So, because I'm from a small little town, like Southeast Kansas. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's important people know that, I think, and where you're from. 80 people, went to school, the same 13 kids. It was a farming community. My grandma owned the bar and grill. There was a lot of classic rock, southern rock. So for me, I was just hungry. when I went to KU and I met, one of my roommates was Japanese, and I that was super cool. And like, I got to teach him a little bit of English, and he taught me a little bit of Japanese. And I was so overwhelmed, or not overwhelmed. I was so intrigued by other cultures because I didn't grow up around it. We're like sheltered. We traveled. My family traveled, but it wasn't. You weren't dropped in the middle of KU. I mean, like Lawrence is pretty. We talk about multicultural, like that.
Yeah, that's a pinnacle almost.
Yeah, it really, really, really is, and that's where I started DJing too. So a lot of my friends, I got influenced all the way through there. These guys that taught me were East Coast or Jersey guys, so learned a lot of Be More, learned a lot of Jersey Club, and then kind of what I knew. And then when I started DJing, it was like 06, 05, and it taught me. I was learning 90s hip hop like it was brand new.
Oh,
I had never heard of Farside, never heard of De La Soul, never heard of like any. No, I never heard of that. There was a CDs where I was from, and if we didn't have internet, I mean, barely dial up. I wouldn't search music, so wasn't strong enough. So it was. I learned hip hop. Like I knew like California Love and the Nothing, but like
shit on the radio.
The shit, yeah, the shit you hear.
Popular.
Yeah. Anything on a mix CD. I mean, we got. I mean, it's just Burlington, Kansas. It wasn't like I was like off in the middle of nowhere. Kind of. That's kind of where I grew up. But we have radio. So we got 93.3 or back then, or 95.7 or whatever it was then. But no, I had to learn hip hop, and I tried to learn it for what it was and like the culture and understand it and respect it. So when I played it, I wasn't just playing a song because, I like hip hop. So like, let me ask that. Sure.
So do you think that helps you as an open format DJ that you're not necessarily dialed in on one particular genre?
100%. Yeah, and I teach their own. Like some of the newer generations would say it's they're coming up when they're 17, 16, 18, 19, 20, and they're seeing the John Summits, they're seeing the EDM, they're seeing the drum and bass, and they're also producing.
Yeah,
at X, 15, 16, whatever years old, and I think if you really zone in on that and you're able to do it and be able to financially support yourself some way and support your dream, and this is what you live and you live and breathe this genre. Awesome. But if you're interested, and more power to you, and I support you. And in fact, Sarah, a few DJs that I've mentored are like, they know their thing, and they all three of them sound different. And for me, I came up where it was I wanted to play everything because I was from, like, how do I bring in where I'm from? I think you always want to kind of bring in where you're from, roots wise. I feel like you're kind of doing yourself an injustice. For me, it would be like, I'm only going to play, like, that was weird. I want to play things I wanted to play, but play them in a way that people enjoyed them, but not alienate them. And that, I feel like, in essence, is more open format. Mm-hmm. So, and let's be real about it. You can be booked a lot being an open format DJ, but it was important to me to enjoy what I'm doing. And I truly do enjoy taking people on a bit of like a journey of music. Is pretty much what you're doing. The sample of this, the sample of this, the sample of this brings you to the sample of this, brings you to the track that dropped last month. That's cool. Like, and it's neat. So yes, it's a little longer answer you probably wanted, but that's legitimately like, yes, that's a very strong. They didn't tell me. I rolled up in New York. I've rolled up in several different markets across the country, and they haven't told me anything. Go get them. I'm like, all right, cool. And you're kind of watching what the opener does, and sometimes there isn't an opener. I played 10 to 4:30, 4:45 in the morning in New York. There's no opener.
Yeah,
and I get to open the room myself, which was kind of cool because they didn't know me. It wasn't preconceived. It wasn't like, oh, this guy only plays this. I got to build that and really like gather people together and try to, then played, like I mentioned, played a little Punjabi Bollywood and played a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Pretty soon I had this whole room working, had a birthday in the back, and then I created this now what do I want to do with it? I have 4 more hours of this. You know what I mean? Which you're excited. So how do you, like, me being all over the place taught me, because I'm not sure I would have been able to hold the room with just 128 remixes all night long, or just hip hop, or just trap, or just throwbacks, or just this. I think I played, I don't even know what I couldn't even tell you how many tracks I played, but I played everything I could find. And sure, they had the whole, phone on their head thing, which, to be honest with you, it's annoying sometimes. But they were 10 feet afraid from me in front of the stage, and I was actually like, when you're out of town like that, you're like, that girl has 40 girls with her.
Maybe I should play this
no
shit.
No problem.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, it was only standard stuff that you would imagine anyway. Like, play Miracle Maker Dom Dollar. I'm like, that's one that, like, I wouldn't think to, like, play. Maybe a tech house track, sure, but, like, that's a pretty good track. And that tells me they like a little bit of drops. They like that tech housey vibe. Mm-hmm. That opens up a whole nother 45-minute set. And next thing I know, I'm into some shit. And, like, at the end, I'm like, I even said it. I'm like, wow, I don't know how we got here, but here we are. Like, I need a water. Like, here we are. So that's always fun, too. And you know, you've probably been there. You're like, you start off and you have one thing in your head, and you look up, and it's been 2 hours, and you're like, how did we get here?
Dude,
so
start somewhere and
you
just let it roll.
Throw and go. You have to throw and just
roll.
go. You're gonna make everybody mad once or irritated. You're gonna cut it off too early. You're gonna do this or that. But then that's another thing. Like, that's a whole other convo, probably a whole other 3-part podcast. But like, you talk to some DJs, and they're playing songs longer in like the house realm, which makes sense. But in the hip hop realm, you're kind of moving and grooving through, like, because you're just hitting the hot parts. But man, it's like some places are like, some people, the feedback, like, I think it's a misunderstanding, because I've had people just rail me on reviews like, you changed the song too fast, and I'm like, is it that, or is it just the fact that you're not able to follow what I'm doing? And I'm not being rude, like, oh, I'm so amazing, but like, did you follow the fact that I just did 12 word plays in a row and brought it to this? Man, it's aggressive for 12, but like a few, and actually told and told like a little story within a section and change. Maybe you change the track 5 times in 3 minutes to get to this major build and drop, and it's a sing along for everybody that I think encapsulates everybody in the room. Mm-hmm. You're mad. Maybe that one little track was your special song, and I only played a snippet of it because it had a word in it, right? And I loop it. Well, then they're like, well, this guy sucks. He only played 12 seconds of Pursuit of Happiness. Well, I played 30 seconds, and that's all we really need to hear, because you're just going to say fuck that 4 times, and then we're going to be on to the drop, and we're moving on, right? So I don't know. What's your feedback on that? I got one for you. Like, you're playing, I don't know what kind of gigs you play normally, but like a hook and a verse is pretty solid. What anymore? Like, depending on where you're at in your craft. Yeah. Sure.
And depending on the song too. I mean,
right. I mean,
you play Ooh by Young M.A. You got to let the whole song play till you get to that certain part. You know, so a hook and a verse most of the time.
It's very situational. It's very situational. I would say normally when you got a lot of stuff to play, and sometimes say you're headlining, you got an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which honestly is like 1 hour is too short. An hour and a half is perfect. 2 hours is like awesome. You can take them on a ride. You get into 3 and it's like you start creating things. You got tour contests going on. You start getting, outside 5 hours. You're really hoping we're hollering out random birthdays that don't exist now. Happy birthday, Jessica! You only turned 21 once. Ah!
How do you know it was my birthday 3 months ago?
No shit. What the fuck? Yo, we got any 2025 birthdays in the house? That's everybody. Unless you were born yesterday. Okay. So I don't know. Part of that's just having a relationship with the crowd, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of things that are fun I haven't talked about on podcasts that would be fun to talk about, because that's one that, like, it always comes up. Do you hate requests? No, I don't hate requests. You know what I hate?
Man, I love them.
I don't hate requests. I hate the approach. That's it. It's not the request, it's the approach. I've said it a million times. Like, think about, like, anything you do in life. Like, why all of a sudden are you not treating me like a human being, and I'm just, hey, like, they just come at you all hot. You can see them coming 50 feet away. Their eyeballs are coming out of their head.
Oh, yeah.
I normally just walk up and slip them $20 bill and be like, hey, can you play this?
Can you imagine?
Like, cool.
That's the best route to go.
Is.
Like, hey,
the best route to go.
Dude in New York was like this. He was like, because I can read lips pretty well. I used to bartend before I DJ, and he's like, said something. He said he held it, but I was like, man, I don't really know what the hell he's saying. Because, I mean, it could be not even English. I don't know, because we're in that room that's broad. Right. So I'm like, what is it? What did he say? I was like, let me see your phone. I'm actually called for it. I go, put it on your phone. And he brought it up, and it was, I can't remember what it was. And I was like, all right. Dude, it was way like, he got out of his car listening to his, and he's like, way left field on this. I'm like, dude, this is not even, I'm going to kill this room with this. There's 200-300 people in this room. And I'm like, $100, and let's see how serious you are. So I think he thought I said 2. Because he went out of his way, and like I was like, man, he's really going to get $100. So I'm like, all right, let me make sure I have this. Because I had a remix, and I was like, I'm going to play him the OG. If you give me $100, I'm going to play the one you want. You know, fair. He comes up, and he has like 75 cents. I'm not making fun. He had 75 cents, and then $1, and then like another $1. And I'm like, no, man, oh, whatever. So he's still there at the end. I played his song, but there was some misunderstanding there with the $100. Somehow we thought it was
huge misunderstanding.
Somehow we got to a $275. When was the last time you paid with quarters? Like, what in this life can you pay with quarters?
Gave you what he could to play the song. He really wanted to hear it.
I'm pretty sure I have to double click my watch for Apple Pay to even do one of those twisty things from when I was little with the quarters. And
he needed the money. He needed the money for the drink, so he's like, "This is what I have left over."
I bought him a drink. That's how I counted. I was like, "This is ridiculous. Get him whatever he wants." Which I could have buried myself with like a 42, right? I was like, "He ain't gonna. I'll tip you." But we're not going to go down that road. We're not doing that. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Man.
I'll take care of it. No, it's people. No, it's not the request, man. Never has been. Never. Then it's winter. Oh man, he hates requests. No, I hate you leaning and spilling drinks all over my laptop, yelling at me about your friend's birthday.
Oh man, yeah.
That's what I dislike.
I tell everybody, man, if you want to come talk to me, you either talk to this person that's next to me and he'll relay it, or you walk your ass all the way around and come
Adam,
find
I'm like,
me.
oh yeah, tell him. And he's like, I'm watching a girl just eat his ear off, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, he's like, dude. I'm like, what does she want? He goes, I don't even know. And I was like, does she got a birthday wrapped up in there? And he's like, dude, I heard so many names, I don't know. I'm like, all right, hold on. Yo, you got a birthday in there? I'm like, yeah, girl, that's what I'm saying. And he's like, dude, because I want everybody in the room to feel special. I want everybody to have a good time. Because think about it, man. Anymore, like, you got to get up, you do your job, whatever you're doing for your day job or whatever you do for life. You had to put in effort normally. You got to shower, girls got ready, guys got ready, maybe picked out an outfit. You get in your car, you drive, you park. You're spending money the minute you get up to get this night out, right? So I'm, in my mind, planning all day and getting my mind right about how I can rock this club. How do I have everybody have a great time? Somehow, in the midst of all that, it turns into, this is my night. Not for me, for them. And then they just want to butcher the DJ apart. And and it starts at the door. If the door guys are normally nice and chill, and the bartenders are cool, and everybody's having fun in the bar, this is my old age. Normally, by the time they get to you, they're all right. But if they get destroyed and it's 4 degrees outside and it's snowing on them, and then the bartender yells at them, and then the drink was too expensive, and this and that, by the time they get to you, you are not going to go well. They just want their song. Now they're pissed.
Play my song or I'm leaving.
There's a lot of effort into going out, and things are not cheap. We all know that. They are.
It's not cheap.
I mean, what is it? Can you leave the house for $100 anymore? I mean, balling out.
That might be the minimum. $100.
I mean, say you need gas. If you fill your car up, well, we're damn near at 100 depending on what you eat or what you drive.
Right.
If we're going to eat food, when was the last time you go? I eat by myself quite often. I remember it used to be $19, $25. That's like $37, $40, depending on where you go. No, I just. Club culture's funny, man. I've been out of it for a long time. You do a lot of clubs?
Nah, I've done a couple of them.
I'm just a host for his podcast. He's the DJ.
I would say I didn't know if you well, I mean, no, I was going to say you're definitely like, I'm tell your energy. You're fluid in this. I don't mean to just be talking to him, but like you're around enough. You have an opinion. You know know what works and what doesn't. We all, so. Yeah,
I haven't done a lot of clubs. Most clubs when they have a DJ, they stick with them.
Sure, more residency. There's opinions on that.
So I do a lot of weddings and whatnot, and I've done some parties here and there and whatnot. And I was gonna ask you. That's a great follow up. Mm-hmm. Where do you find the most freedom at?
More, you want to know the truth?
Yeah,
weddings. I swear to God. So it's funny. I think it's I'm tearing your stuff up. I think it's a mixture of. I feel like the newer DJs coming up. There's a few that like weddings that I can think of that started in weddings. They know the production side, the lighting, and those elements transition to maybe they're an EDM DJ and they like to chase stuff. That's their dream, that's their passion, but they're doing this to fuel this or to support that. Well, I came up and remember I explained that. I think that I just so happen to be very fluent in the music that is super popular for weddings.
That's a great way to put it.
Just so happened timing. I like to think I'm pretty decent at what I do. Geez, I've been doing this a while. I hope so. There's a lot of people booking me for a really bad job. So, I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you for having me again. Yeah. No, so in all realness, I think it's a timing thing because there's a resurgence nationally. I've watched the DJs talk about it. We've spoke about it on back end. Some DJs are scared to death of weddings, and there was some kind of hit to their ego, like I do clubs. That's cool. I mean, that's great. More power to you. I always just wanted to do all of it. So that way I was the most well-seasoned, and why not? When you're young, like running gun the clubs, I had a following. It worked out. The marketing was there. But little did I know the skill set I was honing in on, doing the open format gigs all over the city, sometimes traveling in my 20s, 30s. Those were basically setting me up to go in and absolutely destroy weddings. And I, in my mind, thought that I never was anti-wedding. I didn't always promote myself as a wedding DJ or luxury wedding or luxury private events or whatever. I was always in the, wasn't always, but I started in about 2010, 11. I got asked to do a corporate event for what was then Cerner, and their charity foundation was called First Hand Foundation, Oracle. Now, I went in, I played at the Midland, and I played after a band, and I was like, whoa, I did nothing different here than what I did there, but I was able to, this is crazy. This is a whole nother avenue. We're done at 10 o'clock or 11. What? And then another DJ took me with him on a corporate event to New Orleans, and we were in the Superdome, and the whole event was 45 minutes. They shot fireworks off. We played like 20 songs. I played like one, and we were done. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm playing four. Like, I wasn't above it. I still wanted to earn my way. Always have. But I was like, what is this avenue? So I leaned into that pretty hard about wanting to know more. And then my name caught on. And I think it was a perfect combination of relationships, which are everything, my style of DJing, which was 2000s with a little bit of like, remember I had to learn all the throwbacks, so they were new to me. So I'm playing this stuff like it just came out now. Yeah. And it'd been out for 10, 20 years sometimes. Okay. So I think I just delivered it in a way that this was popular to those people, and I fit well with bands, and I fit well with like certain events, and it was a good timing of shaking events up when there was like a transition to some DJ work instead of the just having bands, and there was a nice marriage with that. And then that brought me to present day, like in the last 15 years or whatever, 10, whatever it is, I've excelled in the wedding and the private sector, if you will, of that. And now full-blown event curation, agency, production, the whole nine, in multiple markets. Wow. So I think that's what, I always loved the business side. I always loved the execution. I always loved all of the planning involved. I always wanted to do more within reason. And sometimes now, not within reason, I get a little carried away. The production side sometimes. But yeah, I think it's a mixture of me, just the music that I play, how I play it, and how I came up. I really do think that's it. I wouldn't say it's an accident. I had to try hard and do what I do, but it's that. Okay, so like imagine. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So imagine like a DJ that's just started up that only likes hip hop, and they go to a wedding. Yeah. Or they only like drum and bass, or they only like EDM. They're gonna have a really hard time opening up with September. I mean, just throwing it out there. Everybody probably does, but I'm guilty of it as well. You got to encapsulate everybody in the room. You got to own them. You got to hone it in. You got to make Aunt so-and-so happy, grandma, maybe the last time they see the grandkid get married. I mean, you got to think about all that. Yeah. You got to really think about how you can nail and bring everybody in the family that matters to a bride and a groom is sitting in front of you, or a couple. And it is just like, I don't consider it pressure. I consider it exciting. Like when I walk on at Tacos and Tequila, it's the same thing for me. It's like, you get one, in my mind, you get one go. It's like if the name's this and this and you say this and this, that was your one time. Now you've pissed off the whole side of the family. Not always, but like you got to get things right, and you got to take it serious, and there's a lot of planning on the back end. We were talking about prepping earlier with music. That's why I do quite a bit of prep. Sometimes it's more difficult. They're just like, no, we trust you. And I'm like, no, really? I highly doubt you want Pop That French Montana as your first song. That's what it's going to be. Right. Yeah, you like Plain Jane as your entrance song?
I tell everybody, if you're going to do a wedding, you need to have that you need to have like 2 or 3 interviews with them.
So we do. So I have a whole protocol for that. And it's not hard. It's not aggressive. It's very welcoming, and it's fun. I make it fun. It's short, sweet, and short and sweet to the point. Depending on the couple, some need more, and some don't really care, and they're busy. A couple of ER docs, they got married a few years ago. They had 0 time. And I said, well, can you just fill something out? Yep. Got it the morning of. I'm fine with that, because they're fine with that. You know, if they're not fine with that, I'm not fine with that, but they're fine with that. So, weddings, I found my most freedom is in weddings now. Really. I mean, they go just as hard. I feel like when I play a wedding, now sometimes I'm closing after a band like Lost Wax, or I'm doing my own, or I have the collective, which is another concept I have with drummer, DJ, violin, and it's scalable with different musicians, vocalists. That's another concept that's popular too. Worked hard on getting that there. But when you have those things going on, you do get freedom. I mean, not only do I get freedom with the music, once you do your intro, and I have a few ways you can do it by, you know, I normally talk to the bride and groom, and they're like, you know, what's important to you? Well, of course, whenever to party, everybody dance, everybody leave, having fun. Well, then you get into, okay, well, what are your favorite songs? I do a wish list for the bride and groom. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody's family birthday anything you want to highlight? There's more things you can go into, but basically for me, how I can move through music is if I know his couple favorite songs with his dudes. Maybe she's in the bathroom and then he comes out. All right, cool. We them boys. Okay, boom. Got him taken care of. 2 more, 3. She walks out. He takes off. Maybe they're together. Okay, they both like this song. All right, cool. Some EDM banger. And then, you know, that's the magic that I try to, you know, incite in them and keep it going with them. Because if your bride and groom are on the floor, the rest of the people are on it too. If they take off and don't do anything, it just turns into a dance and a really expensive cocktail hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Hell yeah.
It really pretty overdone cocktail hour, because if the bride and groom are on the floor, you know, sometimes they're tired, but most freedom anymore. I think it feels that way because I prep well and the couples are like super pumped. But man, anymore, like when Breakaway Festival was here, like I felt like I had freedom to go up there and play any EDM I wanted. I'm confident in all the realms of music that I can put something together that makes sense that I'm happy about. And it may not, I'm not there to, not every single time like that realm was like, or that platform wasn't for me to, it's like 4:15, it was 100 degrees, like nobody's there to see me. We weren't shooting pyro off. So in that aspect, I was just playing stuff that made me feel good and I thought it'd be fun. So
I think that's the biggest. I tell a lot of people, man, I'm playing for the crowd.
Sure,
but
yeah,
really,
play one for you.
I play for me. What do I want to hear that I know that they're going to listen to?
Yeah, well, if you're into it, so that brings up another good point. There's a lot of DJs that I've had talks with in the past where you walk in and the room's kind of. It isn't that their sets are bad. Their sets are dialed. You can tell they practice that set. Mm-hmm. And that is commendable. You sat in your room, you put in the time, hell yeah. But you're robotic. Mm-hmm. And everybody in that room can tell. So that's cool. And you nailed it. And your set's great. But you're not making me believe it. You're not selling it to me. You know, and even if it's their music or they're not, more importantly, I feel like if it's their music, they like... If you're not getting into your own music you made, how am I supposed to get into it too? Yeah. Right. I mean, wild out, tear some things up, like I don't know, pour something out. Like, I mean, I'm open to anything. Go for it. You can't get crazy enough for me. Like, I don't do your thing, but it's really wild to me. Like a lot of maybe they're tired that day, whatever. But here's my thing, man. I'm old school in that measure too. Is like with the grit is like, I don't care that you're tired. These people, I'm back to like I said earlier, these people got ready, parked, spit money, they're there. I don't care you're hungover. I don't care you're sick. Puke in the trash can behind the stage, come back out, do it for 20 minutes, go back, do it again. I've done it. I'm not a superhero. I don't glamorize killing yourself, but like I do lean in and say, you know what you're getting to do for a living if you're full time, and even if you're not, like you're getting to go out and play music. And you're getting to entertain people and take them out of their stressors of their life and make them forget about it. And you get to just like help them, not make them, but help them. Sometimes you got to make them help them have fun and experience something. And maybe you touch them in like a certain way. Maybe they do book you.
My mentor, you know what I mean? Like this, we both got a compliment one day. I can't remember where we were at. But we were DJing, and some guy came up to me like, I just want to let you know, you saved my life tonight because after this, I was going to go home and kill myself. Yeah, but I heard you this, and then, so I'm like, damn, that changed my whole mentality with this shit. Yeah. And like, I have a few stories similar to that. Not exact, but there's been one where I played for this guy. I didn't know he's in the room, but I played something for his mom. And then like a few years later, he showed up, she had died. And I played the same song again without knowing he was in the room.
but it was a normal song. I don't remember what it was, like a normal small little bar set. I think I did a little tandem 90s thing where I do this little run. I did it because another one of my friends was there and he loves it. I think I did Fuji's, where she goes, right when Lauren hits that, but it's a short edit where I can cut in on the snare. And then at the end of that hook, I drop Candy Rain, and it was Candy Rain. And then I go into Before I Let Go sometimes if I don't do, there's a couple other ways I go, but I don't do it every single time, but I just happened to be in that room and felt that that's the crowd I had. So I did it. And it was like a couple years, maybe 3, and he walked up and he was like, and I was recognizing, but it was, so things like that do happen. So and you don't realize how powerful music is until you absolutely, not to sound cheesy or cliche, but like, you get caught up in it and you just play and you want people to go, yeah, put your hands up, 1, 2, 3, jump.
When you get a message like that,
but that hits you and you drive home and you don't listen to anything, and then you get in the shower and you're still thinking about it, and then you wake up and you're still thinking about it, and you're like, you jarred somebody pretty good.
Music moves you.
That's what you're doing.
It controls emotions, all that
stuff.
stuff.
100%. Man. And that's really, as you're repping Tacos and Tequila, that's such a dream for me. And I'm not kissing anybody's ass. It's real. Like, I'm 40 years old and I get to go be around artists I listened to in college. Said it before, I'll say it again, but like, you know how ridiculous that is? You know what I mean? There was so many DJs that would like, yes, I'm very fortunate. I'm grateful for that. That's a hell of an opportunity. 100%. I worked my ass off to be noticed for that, but also like, I don't take it for granted either. Like, I get to go with that demo. I get to play like I play in a little room, but in a big room scale. There's sometimes 20,000 people. And like, I'd change some things up, but like T.I. was late he was like 45 minutes late. It was his flight. It was weather. He had to go around weather in Milwaukee. And because I was playing in rain early on, and then it wasn't the one, I'm trying to think. It was last year. No, Sioux Falls. And I ended up, really beautiful weather, thank God. I ended up playing, it was north of 15,000 people, I think. It wouldn't matter if it was 500, same mentality. But it was powerful. Because I went back and forth on sing-alongs, R&B. Excuse me. We'd already played every banger. I mean, Petey had went, Mike had went, Chameleon had went, like John had went, like Little John had just got off. This place was like, the same people in the same place since 3 o'clock when I started. We're sitting on just riding the rail. So I'm like, man. So it was wild. I don't know. It was, I thought you were telling me. I was like, what's up?
Oh, time. Okay.
You're good. Keep
no, you're good. I was like, all right. Anyway, so he just went on. So my thought was, I stood off the side of the stage and they said, I got 15 minutes and 45 minutes to go. Which one is it? I'm going to say 45 because he takes forever. He's been late before. So I went out there and just played back and forth. But bro, I was playing shit like MC Light, good shit. How Do You Want It? I mean, this is all normal shit to you, right? Like, we all know this. But that crowd, all of them knew every word. Yeah. Everyone. So, I mean, you could kill the song. Dude, everybody's lights were up on their phones. And we just did sing-alongs. It was the coolest shit. Like, I was digging for like any sing-along, any sing-along I could find. Like, and it was all R&B. So for we R&B, like, just vibed out for like 40 minutes, and then T.I. came in just swinging. But it was like that. That was moving to them to the point where that's what a few people commented and hit me up about. Like, you play a good party set. That was cool. But cool. We've heard DMX before, like that. But that showed who I was. Yeah. That showed what my actually depth.
It doesn't tire them out. Depth. It keeps them right there.
They were right there
focused
with me.
On everything.
I went back to Drake in the mid 2000s. Like, I went to I wasn't like in the 90s, but like we did the slow motions. We did 504 Boys. We did, like I did the whole like breakup shit. Maybe I'll just break up, the fun shit. And they're like, "Fuck you, you hoe, I don't want you." But you got them singing along. My buddy just went to a breakup.
Be a player and all
that. Dude, all of that shit. Yeah. Little Troy, Wannabe, like Skilo, Fresh Print, like those are cliche. Right. People have heard them. You've played them. We've played them. But in the right moment, it's pretty fun. And what's cool is you always can get better as a DJ or an artist or whatever. And it drives me nuts. That's what like keeps me like, people, I was like, man, I play something like, I could have done that better. God.
So I want to ask a question here real quick, man. So like, I was watching a lot of this stuff. Obviously, I've seen all your stuff with tacos and tequila and whatnot. Yeah. But I want to ask you, man, how did COVID hit and how did you maneuver it as a DJ? Yeah,
I can tell you.
I know it was probably a hard time.
No, not at all. I lean into, I lean into difficult things. So like, this is how kind of. So we knew it was going to shut down. We, as in all of us, we kind of knew. And I was immediately met with over 100 emails, corporate clients, private clients, luxury clients, wedding clients, birthday clients, just full of emails, not the right way. Hey, we obviously need to cancel. I don't know their situations. Some of them asked for the deposits back. I gave it to them. Some of them said keep it. Like a lot of corporate clients were like, this is money spoke for. Like, keep it. Thank you. We support you. We love you. We don't know what's going to happen here, but keep that. And I said, the ones that said that, I documented and I held that and I passed that forward later. I didn't just wipe it. So for me, the first 7 days, I was like, you might as well punch me straight in the face. Like, I was stunned. I was like, because dude, I'm 100 as I came in here, like I'm 120. I'm up at 6, 7 o'clock. I'm going like all day long. I mean, I used to do 300 to 500 shows a year. I do 20, 30 shows, sometimes 40, 50 a month. And so that was pre-COVID. And then COVID was a bad situation that I really, really tried hard to make good. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything during it. I made a marker board. I saw your marker board and actually reminded me of that. And I was wondering where this was going. I'm glad you asked the question. This is new. This is new for a podcast. So good job. So I made a marker board with all the stuff I wanted to do in my house. We bought the house at 16. Thought that would last me a while. I knocked that shit out in like 3 weeks. Yeah. So I was like, what am I doing the rest?
Bathroom needs to be redone. Knock it out.
I mean, I was like, I'm out trying to paint my house with Q-tips, trying to blow time, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm out there cutting the grass with scissors. But no. So it was we had a little group. We cooked a lot at home. I worked out every day, which was normal anyhow. But I built a little gym in my garage. I started streaming.
Okay.
And immediately, that's why they're so good at shutting people down now, because they had 1 million people streaming. So a lot of guys jumped over to TikTok DJ-wise, and that's still going. They're still rocking and rolling. 4 Color Zach, Scene, like a ton of them. Jazzy, the rest of them. I never got on the TikTok thing, but I did Instagram. So I lived a lot like this in my basement, in my studio, with my phone. I had a little fisheye lens. And then you couldn't get a hold of, I didn't have the technology, it exists, obviously, but I didn't have things to hook my phone into with a double 1/8 inch into out with a USB out, or no, a FireWire out, or something, an Apple, whatever the hell. And it went into this little, went into this little Newmark square thing I had strapped to something similar to this. And then one was an input, one was an output. Because if you just had your phone up there, it was a double-edged sword. It wasn't good enough quality for where it would pick it up, the copyright or the algorithm would pick it up and shut you off. But it was too shitty where people understand. So guys get on there and talk shit like, sounds like you're recording with a potato. Yeah. so I'm like, well, God damn it. So I finally got this thing, and then like, remember, I'm making zero money, and I'm like buying like a $50 thing, and I'm like, God, this might as well be $5,000. So
yeah, you're right.
I mean, it might as well been $5,000. Yeah. So I was like,
it's not like you can recoup it.
I'm like, what am I gonna do? So people actually were really super cool, man. It was humbling and like wild. So there's a lot of people still working. Like, wife still works. She's a pharmacist. Nurses, obviously, all healthcare. And I feel like I would get on and I would start streaming like 5 days a week for like, I was trying to find the sweet spot of the day. Well, I noticed I'd get up early, and I realized some people just get off work, and then others were going to work. So it's kind of like, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. like morning show. I would do that because I was up anyway. I was going to bed at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because there's nothing to do. So I'm like, what am I raging? So I'm out the club. So it was closed for 88 days first.
Right.
And during that time, I have contacts at the news that I'm in partnerships and friendships. So you'll see me on Fox 4 doing stuff and sometimes hosting. And I really love live TV. It's fun. But they would come to a spot on us. And that we said, hey, if anybody needs anything, because there's a lot of businesses that were doing curbside.
Okay,
and you still can. They didn't take that away. So like, you can still go get a to-go drink. I'm pretty sure. Maybe check into that before you do it. But you can.
I think some bars can.
DUI. No,
disclaimer here.
If you had disclaimer here. Ashton didn't say that. But no, don't do it on the Kansas side. Missouri only. So they don't care. No, so it was. You can go to-go deal as long as it was zipped up. Kind of like if you go buy a bottle of wine and cap it again and seal it, whatever. So no, same thing. Well, we got on TV and we got a green screen set up in a warehouse, and people were sponsoring our green screen. It was me, High Noon, like Boogie B, a bunch of local DJs, Hayden, Vinyl Richie, a couple of us. We would go over there once a week and do guest spots, and we'd have all our phones up, and it would shut one off. We'd have another one going. Shut one off, have another one going, and we would make tips and we'd split them up. And I think which was cool. And then we did that for a while. Then things kind of slowly opened up,
right?
And no DJ stuff, but then it shut us back down again. So finally, when it started opening again, it's closed now, so it don't matter. So Ale House was on the rooftop. We were throwing bangers on the rooftop, and they weren't supposed to. Everybody was sitting down because we cared.
Right.
But there was only 100 people, whatever, and 100 chairs, 100 people. Because every seat had to have a butt. You couldn't be standing around walking around because, COVID doesn't jump through or whatever. So whatever.
We got it. We got it all technical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All so
it's cool. We haven't breathed the same air right now. Science. So downstairs it looked like people were just kicking and watching TV, and upstairs we were throwing bangers. So there was a little bit, there was some income coming in, and then I remember when it just all opened back up, it was like slowly. Then it just was like a flood. Now with the DJ, I'll parlay into the business side, but that's how I stayed afloat. But I did have money saved up. There was EIDL loans, PPP loans. Since I did have a business structured the way I did have certain things. Not private contractors are hard, man. Because you didn't have a proof of any kind of, it's volatile. You have proof of income, you can have money in the bank, but but going to buy a house, you're like, yeah, but you're a 1099 person, you're a contractor. Like everything takes longer, right? It does. Trying to prove it. I'm like, bro, I made X amount last year. Like I have this in the bank. They're like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, neat.
Right.
But
you can't prove it because
well, it's more like the longevity. They're like, you're a contractor. So what happens if a COVID shuts down? Well, that's a sweet looking $1 million home. I don't have $1 million home, but $1 million home that I can't pay for now. Yeah, but so I get why, but it was frustrating because I'm watching everybody around me. Remember when everybody under the sun felt like was just getting $1,200 a week?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they weren't, dude. It behooved them to not work and go in and just sit home and collect.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So go out, nobody's there, and make your $50 for your shift, or stay home and
make
$1,200.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm over there trying to streaming, getting shut off. I'm like, yeah, what do you guys want to hear? So it was a wild time, and it seems like a dream. It really does.
It does, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, so when everything opened back up, my guess was everything would just open and flood, which it did. People spending money because they hadn't spent it in a couple years or a year or whatever. Like, oh, let's throw this party. Last year's budget was $10,000. It's $40,000 this year. And I'm like, we're going to have to recoup this somewhere along the line. So this is really cool now, which you're in your head, you're like, oh, we're making up for it. But it's laughable now. But then I was like, okay, well, still going to be the same product, same quality, but we'll do some more pizzazz. All right, cool. The increase wasn't that much, but it was, people were going in. I think they just wanted a party, which obviously they've been cooped up.
They wanted to get out the house.
They wanted to get going, man. So these private events incorporate the residual annual income, the annual corporate events I've done sometimes north of 10 years, these relationships. And they were like, the shit we got, we didn't do anything last year. So, we're going to add a little bit to it. A couple of those. Well, going to that was 2021, 22. Well, there was a reset in 23. And then 23 was a weird year. So those budgets that used to be 10 after COVID, 20, now they're, what can you do for 7,500? So it drops down and goes back. So it's these are just arbitrary numbers, but it gives you you understand what I'm saying. Right. It's definitely or ambiguous numbers. It was they were, it was interesting because it was hard. It was mentally exhausting, but I'm stronger because I don't let things like that. If things are hard in career or anything, I tend to lean way hard into harder things. I always have done that. That's just kind of how I've always done it. And I feel like it took me a minute to be like, what is going on here?
Right.
Is this a joke? And then I realized this is going to be around a minute. So not COVID, but this whole shutdown. And it was very jarring, not necessarily to me, but watching everybody around, the mental strain it took on people, and it took some of their lives, people we all know. So it was destructive, and it was rough, and it was hard to understand. It still is. And it's wild to think that my daughter's 4, that I'm going to be able to tell her about that. she's gonna read about it, and they're gonna have her learn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to like. That's how I think about things now. You know, like my family's like, oh yeah, my mom would be like this. My dad, oh no, I remember when Nixon. Like I'm like, oh. Now I'm like, no, you're not gonna believe this.
The shit we went through.
So we wore these masks, right? Just hear me out.
Before the mask, people were wearing water bottles on their head and shit.
Just hear me out. You know the Hinkley Springs bottle we had. Yeah. So I cut a half of it off, and I put it on my head. And then Dad went and DJ'd to bring some food home. No, I didn't. But still, the point is that's just. But no, like that's
picture proof.
No, the picture it should be that. It should be the guy with the crazy like homemade hazmat suit. God, dude, it was.
What a time.
Is there anything else? I mean, you guys ask me whatever you want. What else? Anything driving?
Well,
I can go all kinds of exits. So you have to keep me back on track.
Well, we're getting to the end because I think the cameras are getting at the end of the time. But
I saw him plug that one in. I'm like, ran another one, dead. It's like, hey, that guy's kind of okay, but don't ever ask him back in.
No, for sure. No, we gotta bring him back. But no, what we do usually on the podcast is we do Mount Rushmores.
Oh man.
Yeah. So like I want to say, I don't really know.
These are hard as hell if I know where you're going with this. These are the roughest. And
they are roughest, yeah.
Like your three, I'm not, go ahead.
Well, let's say.
It could be different.
Let's just give me your Mount Rushmores of, man, I don't know, like DJs, I guess, or like.
Man, you can ask me whatever you want because it's opinions vary and it ain't.
Oh, yeah, it's all opinionated, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, opinions are opinions. So if you said like hip hop is hard, like, because what you want to say is like, I was influenced, and I'm glad I prefaced it, or I spoke earlier. Tupac was new. I was like, whoa, but Tupac's for my car, unless I enjoy Tupac in the car, maybe, or Snoop in the club, or this in the car, and like, I don't know, like I feel like those three to me are awesome, but they're pivotal to me because they're the first ones I learned from.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
Not because I grew up in Cali, and it's like I was right in the middle of it. My influence was what the DJs taught me, or what I gathered, and I was like, "Yo, this is sick! Like, where has this been? Like, this is insane!" And like, Too Short. I think he's like, like if you know me, you're like, of course, Blow the Whistle smashes. Like there's songs you just can't get over it. That's the main reason. Yeah, dude. So like doing that show with him in San Antonio, like I'm right back to like, dude, I get to stand on stage with like, it's insanity. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Well, that's the list too, man.
It's
Ask him about what's the Mount Rushmore shows you done. Like,
I was just thinking that.
Oh, that's
there
a good.
That's what I was
just thinking.
That's perfect. Yeah.
God,
Mount Rushmore's of shows.
I wish I got that. Well, let me think.
Stumped you.
That would be
because
that's a really hard one. That really is.
Because
the Mount Rushmore's of shows, there was one. It was my first Vegas show at Studio 54 with DJ Scene when I was 25.
Oh wow.
Okay,
so you were fresh in the business at that time,
dude.
Shit.
He's a dude.
God.
So I was originally on. Yeah. So I'll answer it like this. There's like this little circuit of DJs. It was called Soul Management in High Noon in town. Him and he was good friends with this guy that he used to tour with bandwise. Soul Management, and I got asked to be on that, and it's basically DJs from different markets where you can network. And it used to be gig trading was huge. Like you lived in Cincinnati, and I live in Kansas City. Hey, come here, and you're playing. You get the resume built. I've been to Cincinnati. You've been to Kansas City. But excuse me, it was just kind of wash. The idea was there. The share, but we're talking late 2000s. Yeah, like I was 8 or 9. So I was fresh. So Scene is one of my really good friends now, and played my wedding, and he's in Vegas. Open format, old DMC champ. Used to be on Dexstar with Steve Aoki, with Kevin Scott, with AM. With AM.
DJ AM?
No, that's like that. Yeah. So those are like when that's when like Aoki was on like records. He wasn't like what the production he is now. So nothing wrong with that, but like that was called Dexstar. And then, so you could look into that. Probably be cool. There was like it was pretty cool for the time. It was when mashup shit was really live and like really. So he was the DMC champ. I don't remember what years, but like out of Seattle, he moved to Vegas because that's what you did. You moved to a market where you could be like, yo, I'm from Vegas, like, and people took you serious. So that would be one. I'm not from Vegas, but I got to play with. I didn't realize what and he would tell me, shut up if I said this in front of him, but I knew he was a big deal, but now I look back and think about being 25, 26, going into Studio 54, playing on a 900 and an SL1 box with M447s, standing between two, it was his wife's his girl's birthday, so I ended up playing, we got lit, and my wife, and my best friend Christine and her boyfriend at the time, they walked in when I started playing as a surprise to me. So they did a 12-hour turn and burn, come to Vegas to surprise me. So my first time playing to Vegas, I was 26 years old in Studio 54. So that's where Hakkasan is now. So if you want to know Realm, it was in MGM. And so there's a Tuesday night. So I did Tuesday, then I did LA, and then I came back and hit Scottsdale, and then I went home to KC. And I did that a couple times. It was cool. But I was fortunate enough to get on that. Man, I loved it. Like, that was, I didn't know anything. I didn't know shit. And, yeah, that was the same trip I met CeCe Pennington. I was playing at the W Hotel Pool in Scottsdale. And, finally, it's happening to me. CeCe Pennington. Yeah. I'm not a singer. I'm a DJ. I got that raspy ass. I got that face for radio and that voice for smoking or something. No, CeCe Pennington. She came up and requested the song, and I laughed. I was like, "Damn, that's a hell of a song." And then fuck, that might have been her. And the guy's like, "Yo, CeCe Pennington's here. Can you play Finally?" And I go, "Yeah." What? So that was my first encounter with like an action to murders. That Robin S. would have showed up and just show me love. I'd have lost.
I'm not playing it. Here's the mic. Sing this shit.
Yeah, wait, 20 years before stems. Right. So, shit. But no, like that's what I was fortunate to get in. Like, I just knew I wanted to entertain and like want to be around music. I didn't care what capacity, and I just loved it, or still love it. Still feel the same way about it today as I did.
So that's one. That's one.
So there's one.
Vegas at 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, it was
brand new.
Yeah, brand new. Like open format. So I felt good. It was strong. The other one would be. I mean, obviously, Tacos has got to be in there too. I'm not going to rate 1, 2. I'm not rating. I was starting at 3, but then 2. All right, I'll go to Tacos, and the reason for Tacos is pretty damn obvious. Shout out Josh James, Bring Me On, Nick, those guys, that whole team at Tacos. Like, they grew quick, man.
They did.
I remember the first one, and I was like, I didn't know that it was all over America.
I've told it before, but exactly. So you know the story here. Some people don't even know it started here. So the story is funny when it has to do with me. Josh James, he's a GM for for Social House. Sorry, we were talking about Soul Management. Social House. Yeah. So he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man," I was like, "It's Josh." I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, you wanna do a set out at Tacos and Tequila? We're doing a festival out at Legends Field." And I said, "Hell yeah, sure,
yeah, hell yeah,
let's do it." And he's like, I was like, "I don't ask. If somebody asks you something like that, I could tell there's something to it. I normally just say yeah anyway. It's like, whatever. If I'm open, I was like, yeah. And in fact, I was like, this is a festival out at Legends Field. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You would just figure this shit out.
So in my mind, I was going to be on a little riser as people walked in. That's what I envisioned. I was like, I could probably add some production to that. And hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, Legends Field, whatever. That's what I was thinking. Well, I had to confirm. We got everything set, contract, whatever. And then he sends over. He's like, hey, I'm going to send you the flyer. Let me know if you approve it. And I said, all right, cool. And it was just me on a flyer. And it was like Tacos and Tequila. And it's one of my jumping ones. And I was like, all right, cool. And then he goes, how you like this one? And he sent it over. And it was like, Petey Pablo, blah, 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 blah. And I go, what the fuck? I go, what is this? I was like, what? You put me on the flyer with all of them? I go, they're cool with that? He goes, dude, yeah, it's our festival. I told you I was going to get you marketing on. I go, yeah, but where are they playing? And he goes, with you on the stage. And I'm like, what? I was like, I'm opening on the stage for all these artists. He goes, yeah. And I was like, bro, what? And like, dude, the font's the same. Everything's the same. And I'm like, I was just, I mean, I wasn't overwhelmed, but I was like, are we doing this tomorrow? What are we doing? So I was like, because you don't want to be like, what capacity do you need me in? Do you need me playing all the time? Because in my head, I was like, man, I'm doing an opening set. I'm going to hang out on the stage. This would be sick. I wonder if I could bring friends. Like, what are we doing? But,
right.
You know, like in your head, you're like, okay, I got to bring the wife. Got to bring this party. And then, yeah. So I'm like, okay. Then I told him straight up, I was excited. I was supposed to be. And I still am. And so it gets to the day, and he texts me, he goes, where you at? I go, on the stage. Obviously just waiting. like chomping at the bit. It's like, I'm like, all right.
I've been here since before we opened. I'm ready.
Got here Monday. There was no stage. I was over here. So he goes, hey, I got do you want to run Petey Pablo? Said I have him with me. And I go, yeah, where you at? So I walk off the side of the stage, and Petey's standing there, and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, not much, man. What are we doing? And he's like, here you go. He's like, they're in order. They're labeled. He goes, where the party at? I was like, well, we got a whole festival to do here today. But we're standing on a 32, or like a, what is it, SL 32, whatever the hell it is. It's like a 34-foot stage. Like, it's a nice, solid, big stage. I go, that's a party. I mean, you know. And so I was like, all right, well, let's run through this real quick. I need to make sure, like, I'm not going to get up here and have you roll out here and this shit not work. I mean, I've been down the corrupt file world before, down that little hole. Oh, so we went back to his trailer. I went through it. I go, this is what you want to do, how you want to come in, how do you want to, anytime you want to, like, keep it moving, you just say, keep the party moving, Ashton. I won't say shit on the mic. If you want me to add some cuts, I will, like, whatever. He goes, just do you, man. I don't care. He's like, just keep moving. Very cool. Very nice. Sweetheart. I was like, all right, cool. Went out. We rocked it. It's like we've done it 100 times. I'm not just saying that. And I realized after we were done, front of house didn't put on any music. And I'm like, is there nothing in between? Because I was supposed to play 3 to 5, and then his set was 5 to 5:30.
Right.
And I go, there's a mic laying there. It was his. And I was like, what's up, Kansas City? That's how I became a part of the show. The whole time. That right there. That's how I did it.
I think I had that on my Instagram.
Just because they didn't have music readily accessible.
It wasn't something. There was a glitch. It wasn't anybody's fault. It's a new festival, man.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, I sound checked, and I remember I was on the main deal. Now I have my own stage and DJ thing or little stand to the side, and it's my own thing. Well, the reason it's like that is because I was supposed to play 3 to 5, strike, music, then be done. What it was, DJ, pause, what's up, Petey Pablo. Petey comes out, does his set. Then I was supposed to strike and be done. I striked, got me a table, set up on the side, realized there wasn't any music on. I said, dude, I'll just play in between. Stage manager was like, sure, let's go. Cool. Hotlines, let's rock. So then it became me in between each one, which turned into this relationship on the stage. Now we're year 5, and there's 14 markets. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. There's, year 5, 14 markets, and it's, all over the place. I'm trying to
think
Winnipeg,
I think?
I'm trying to think which ones that haven't been announced yet, so I'm just going to stay quiet. I'll be like, and da-da-da. No, they're all announced by January 31. I can't say that. Like, January 31 is like all 14 or 15 are all announced, all markets. But yeah, so there's 2. And the third one, in those particular order, man, I would have to say it's a tie, but it's not what you would think. It was a 20-person wedding for a couple, and it was right after they legalized marriage for LGBTQ, the LGBTQ movement, and you could gay marriage. It was legal, and it was. I still remember it was upstairs, what used to be Nara. And it's now Lula, which good friends of mine place, which is awesome if you haven't been there. Little shout out. 20 people. And it was wildly in love. And it was intimate, it was simple, and it was cool. And that popped into my head. I was trying to think of something. That one was on there. I mean, the big gigs are amazing. Like they're amazing. Like, and they are. But it's a hard question. It would be more of a Mount Rushmore of 20.
Yeah.
But
20.
I went with something heartfelt because it truly, to this day, and I've played a lot of weddings that there's a lot of love. I'm not a lot of them, I'm very fortunate with the couples I get, but that one was pivotal because I believe it was just legal. And I don't remember the year, but it was like, it was amazing to be a part of. Gotcha. And it was mostly the dad speeches on both sides that blew my mind. Mm-hmm. I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So those would be 3. Like the heartfelt one, the first one that really was like, this could be something. Right. And the third one would probably be just all the tacos and tequila. Like a switch flipped with me and clicked with me when I was on there, or when I on that stage, and I'd played bigger stages. I've played PNL numerous times. I've played on different larger stages, opening acts, open for Pitbull. I've done a lot of cool stuff, and again, fortunate. But it was that being able to the trust from Social House and the partnership with them to trust me enough to allow me to make it a little space for me in between each act, and me just I'm just kind of up there. Like I'm just doing
I think you're
I'm
on this
doing my
t-shirt.
thing.
Yeah, right
see,
here.
I don't even deserve to be on, like, and they're like, no, man, you're part of it. I'm
I was like, you're on this t-shirt.
Murphy Lee and Jock, super sweet. Ja Rule, nice guy too. Chameleonaire's awesome. I didn't talk to him a whole lot. T-Pain was just in and out. He was probably flying in from 13 shows.
Well, T-Pain, all right, Chameleonaire is my favorite artist of all time.
Is he really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You did get to meet him?
Yeah, I met him.
Oh, did you get to talk to him a little bit though?
Yeah.
Cool.
They had a full 30-minute conversation. I'm calling the where the fuck are you at,
yeah, you
bro?
Don't answer your phone.
I'm talking to a Chameleonaire, bro.
You imagine answering a phone like, hold on, bro. He'd be like, what?
Well, no, it's crazy, like, because he signed my hat to my
that.
son. You know, my son's name is Houston, and he's from
Houston.
Yeah. But
you got a good story too.
Well, and it's crazy because, like, even back in the day, like, my brother won a contest, and he has the 99th copy of his last mixtape he's ever done.
See, you know him through and through. Then,
yeah, dude, I was up in it. He was trying to pull me on stage, and everyone's like, "Get up there!" And I was like, "No, he wants me to rap, and I can't rap."
Oh wait, that was you?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, that's awesome. No, because I know exactly where you were standing. I know exactly
right
where you were.
Bro.
Because he goes, you're right there. Because he was like,
right
yo,
there.
Get up here. And you're like, no.
Everybody, bro.
And I was
everybody
like, what are you
around,
doing?
He's the only person rapping word for word. Everyone's like, bro, get up there.
No, because
he's like, fuck no.
Dude, and
I can't rap.
No, and that's what's so cool about Tacos and Tequila, because I don't want to say this in a derogatory way. It's like they had their prime.
Yeah.
So
exactly
meeting
right.
him then would have been a little, maybe could have been rough. Maybe he's a sweetheart. I don't know. But when they're at their prime, I've worked with rappers, not as many as of recent, the last 10 years, that have been in their prime, and it's been 50-50 on like what you get. You get exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, dude, you have one head. Shut up. Right. So, you're talking about people with catalogs, dude. Like that shirt, look at that. You could throw a dart, and which one? So,
right.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. So like, and that's what's cool about it, is because that demo out there mixed with them, they're there for a house party. And like Murphy Lee, he's such a nice guy. I ran his sets too. Ran Jocks, like
the greatest rapper out of St. Louis.
Dude, dude.
He is my all-time favorite.
A murderer, dude. He's insane, and he's so chill and humble. He's so mellow. Wait, Murph? Are you talking about Murphy?
Murph Durf.
Yeah. I was like, I hope that's what you're talking about.
Murphy Lee. Hell yeah.
Like, dude, he's like
the greatest St. Louis tick.
Oh, dude, man. Super chill. And the other dude running around, the other guys are Quan, all them.
Quan and all them, yeah.
He is hilarious, dude. It's just funny. I was playing before they went out, and I came to their RV. The easiest way to just go to their RV, their green room, and just go through the set, especially if I haven't. Like with Juvenile, he's a funny guy. He's
a big Cheese fan.
He was funny. But no, I went back to Murphy's. And I was like, Murph, how do you want to run this? And the other dudes were getting ready, and I think they thought I was like stagehand or something, which is fine. I don't care.
Right.
But I mean, I'm a white boy in there sorting through the music, like, and then he heard me play, and it was a compliment, and he meant it as that. And he was like, I was standing there, and I got down after I ran their set, and he didn't realize, or it was before I ran their set, they were on the side of the stage, and after, we went down to the front of the stage and watched whoever was next, and he's standing there, he goes, come here. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? He goes, dude, I had no idea that, like, you were the DJ when you were in the trailer. And I go, yeah, I was going through your set, make sure I had everything I needed. Because the last time I ran it a few times, I was like, he does a lot of acapellas, like ins.
Yeah, he does,
and you got to listen before. Now I have ears in, so I'm fine. I am. So I'm like, I can hear him, but he'll go, white and blue. Then he's like, my Air Force, doom, doom. And I got to hit it on a dime.
You got to hit it right on the note.
On a dime. It's weird because everybody's going to start singing. So if I miss it, they got to reset and go. So he's like, I did not know you were white. And I go, I'll say it was quiet, and it was hilarious because he said it so innocently and so sweetly that I was like, and I'm like pouring sweat. It's like, it's not cold. And I was like,
it's like 100 degrees out there frying.
What? And he goes, I don't mean it like, I go, what God? What? How the hell else did you mean it? He's like, no. He's like, you play like. I'm like, I play like what? And he's like, you just did a great job. Like that was
basically you have rhythm.
Yeah.
I
said, so you're trying to tell me I knew what I was. And he wasn't talking about their set. He was talking about what I was playing leading up to them. Because whatever I'm leading up to, whoever. That's where that trust comes in. Like if you're just like, whoa, and then they have an R&B act, and
it's like,
you know what I mean? Like,
what are we doing here?
It just doesn't make any. Look, you just look dumb. So it's like you look like you're not informed. So I just kind of set it up to where we're coming in, and then I lower my volume. So when they come in, it's more of a splash. And I try to do all those little things that people don't think of, or that makes it smoother, that you can't really explain. I try to do all those things. So you do after you've done this a while. And he was so funny. That's my Quan story.
So here, let's do this then, man. To wrap it all up and stuff like that. But we do this. Obviously, we just did a Mount Rushmores and stuff like that. But who could you bring on to the podcast? This podcast. And if so, or who would you like to see on the podcast and stuff like that? And if so, could you help us get them?
Ooh, good one. Well, I mean, who do you? But you'd probably be like, yeah, hook it up. I'm about to say, who do you want? You're like, nah.
Murphy Lee,
well,
you got Busta Rhymes on speed dial. Let's go.
Juvenile.
Nah. You need to be changing numbers and shit. I'm like, hello, this is Brenda. I'm like, this ain't Busta Rhymes. Weird. This is crazy. Is Busta? No, so I gotta. So, okay. It would depend on, I can't make promises, and I'd have to look, because there's a lot of flyers with a lot of different people on them, and I have to look at who's on Kansas City again. But I know that Friday, I think they added another person. And so I need to look at that again. But if they come into town, the reason I know this is a thing, it could be possibly a thing, is because there was a similar podcast in San Antonio. And I think there was one in Sioux Falls. And we're gonna do it. We couldn't do it this last year, but I said I would definitely. I'm all for it. I'm easily accessible. People hit me on IG, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'll come in. Like, of course, let's go. I'm just a DJ rolling in with these guys. Yeah, sure. But I would actually, So I would say there's the ones that I have relationships with. If they do come into town early and they're not tired, I could see at least you getting a few, like you can, I can't promise anything, but you could get some, I bet you could get a few minutes with them at some point, at least to say hi. You could at bare minimum meet, take a picture and say hi, just because you guys are like, but as far as getting a podcast or getting them on the podcast, this depends on where they got to go. Yeah. But it's not, but locally or just, I think.
Could we possibly get Murphy Lee or P. Pablo for that matter?
If they're on, I think I could talk Petey into it. I could probably
try it. Because he was just on Upshaws. I don't know if you've seen that.
I did see that. I haven't watched it or listened yet. Okay, so Petey is full, and I feel like Murphy would. Murphy and I have spoke a lot, but like, man, Petey, that dude is full of knowledge, man.
And
he is just fun to talk to.
He made. I just went to North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm a big Carolina Panthers fan. Mm-hmm. Love Carolina Panthers. And like every single time they scored a touchdown, first down, whatever, they played Raise Up.
Yeah.
So I'd love to just sit down.
Isn't that wild that that's still going? That's still going. If he's in town, I'll definitely put in a good word for you. Why would I not? If he's in town, which blood, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
And dude, he's got a new one dropping Friday. He's got a new track. I'm telling you, you gotta watch my IG. We gotta share it. We gotta get it out. I'll send it to you. He's like, send us all your DJs. He wants to shoot a music video. So, actually, if he does come into town for that,
yes, for sure.
If he comes into town for that, for sure, we should definitely do that. I'm not going to speak, Petey. I'm not speaking for you, but I'm not trying to get you in trouble again. But sometimes he's like, he calls me. I don't know why this is, but I got pretty turned up around him a couple of times, which whatever. I mean, come on.
Hey, he said, "Where's the party at?"
What am I doing? Like, this is your fault. Like, we bicker like, I don't know, like family sometimes. And it's like, I consider him family. I do. And he goes, we went out to I had him come out to Glendale with me for when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Like, I had him come out there.
Arizona's fun.
Shit show. Transportation was a shit show. I thought he was going to kill me. I was like,
I
can't control this, dude.
It's terrible driving.
Dude, and it was a waste management. There was 1 million people there trying to do the same shit.
Dude, I was there for the Super Bowl. It was ridiculous.
$500 Zelle cabs, bro. You'd hit an Uber or a cab, and they'd be like $500 Zell, and I'm like, well, I'm 25 minutes from Phoenix. Looks like it's $500.
See, I moved when they were building the stadium because of all the traffic. I was like, I'm not going to be here for all that. And so I moved back.
I knew what it was. I've been going out there for a year. It's crazy.
I got there and I was like, bro, I definitely underestimated this shit.
Oh, I did too. We were staying right downtown in an Airbnb with my buddies across from Footprint. Like I could look out the window at Footprint's right there. Ainsworth is down there. So I had us all over, and things would change on a dime, and dude, it's just a cash grab. Damn. It's money grabbing.
You were right in front. You stayed right in front of Ainsworth.
Yeah, because I played at Ainsworth. My buddy at the time owned it, and then he also owned the McFadden's out in Glendale. And then he also owned the place called whatever, Salt or Sugar or something across the street.
That's hilarious.
So I just bounced between all those because I'd been playing. So I was going out there for that season and playing the away games. Whoever the Cardinals played, he would host the opposing team. So I played for the Eagles, funny enough, and I played for the Saints. I played for a couple other, I don't know who else, whatever ones I went out there for, but I knew all their fight songs and all their shit, but I just wore neutral colors. And then when the Eagles went, I was out there. Some of the same Eagles people came in, but they saw me standing there in all Chiefs, and it was like this funny little. Although Eagles fans are next level. They're trying to fight my mom and shit. It was weird. Like this 6-year-old swung and like swung at me because I played. Well, I did play, the chop, but still, you were in the Chiefs bar at the time. Like we'd throw a flag down, and Petey was rolling around in like Chiefs gear and shit. It was like it was an experience.
Dude, I watched the game at Ainsworth.
Wow,
I couldn't find it anywhere else.
So wait, you watched the game at Ainsworth?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Like, dude, look how close we were. Like,
bro, it got shut down.
Oh no, it did.
There was a big ass fucking brawl in there. They busted out windows. They were people got smacked in the head with chairs. So I heard about that later
because I came back and there was boards on the windows. When
I was there. My homeboy DJ's in there from time to time.
So wait, who are you talking about?
DJ Clutch. That's my dog.
So Clutch. Yeah. I won't get into detail on the crazy shit on the back end, but Clutch and I are on the same page. We're good. Because he used to do a lot of shit in Kansas City. Yeah. Yeah. See, you know Biz too, his boy, and he did a lot of. He was like the right hand man of one of the owners. So he's back in town. Diz is like Doug. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's back in town in KC now. Wow. His family never left. He was just out there working. But anyway, small ass world, right? God damn. I knew you were gonna say Clutch. Yeah, we were doing tears and triple clicks or attempting. Doing different cuts and scratches when I was going out there the whole time because he's a chef there. Yeah, he's a chef out there. So he was working there. He told me, "Hey, bro, pull up. I'm a DJ after the game." Yeah, bet. I had my homeboy who's a DJ with me. He was like, "Yeah, we'll come in there and fuck it up." Dude, that's so funny. We were in the same you were literally in the same bar I was at 3 times that week playing. I played a Pepsi event. So basically, it's a corporate buyout, dude. People would just come in and do corporate. Bro, because I was like, oh shit, Ashton Martin gonna be there. Let me try to pull up in there, and I got there a day too late. But then they would change corporate. It would then one of the owners would be like, oh, they're gonna give us more money over here, and then they take my flyer and change it and send it to me, and I'm like, dude, where the hell am I going? Because I had there was me, Tech 9, Petey, and then we had Too Short out there, and then I ended up running YG's set. That's what I did. That's hard. Dude, we did YG's set right behind McFadden's in the parking lot. He rolled up and they gave me a shoebox full of money and they gave me a thumb drive and I go, in a computer that wasn't mine. The life of a DJ is wild, the guy goes, I guess he goes, yo, he's like, we're ready. And I'm like, I'm not. I go, my laptop is in McFadden. I look up and I'm like, okay. Run up there. It's a laptop in Spanish. Mind you, fuck. Because it's the Spanish DJ's laptop. Yeah. So it's Omar. Yeah, Omar. And so I just slammed it in the side and I saw it load up and I just dumped it in Serato and I was like, okay, which one's first? He's like, we're doing these 3. I'm like, I know YG's track, so I know what you're going to do. All right, here we go. So that's literally how I played YG's set. But that's hilarious. Praying to God that computer didn't die because the battery was almost dead and I had no charger. On a wing and a prayer. I was like, man, don't be holding up between these damn songs. Let's run through this shit. Too Short pulled up, didn't perform. I was going to run his set. I was super pumped. And then he ended up going performing somewhere else. Like I said, it was a cash grab. That is funny. You'll see funny. Us That's in funny. New Orleans for the Super Bowl this year. That's funny. Are you going? I'm going to try to. So I thought I bought a round trip and I didn't. I bought a direct there. And I know what I was thinking because I have gigs in town in KC. But then I think I'm going to go to Vegas on that Sunday. I'm going to fly in early at 5 a.m. I'm not gonna obviously go to the game. I'm gonna go watch the game. There's a bunch of friends from KC there. I don't know, Vegas is just easy. The thought of going to. I've been there. I've played for. Fat Tuesday. I played St. Louis on Sunday or Saturday. Then I turned around and went to Fat Tuesday and played Fat Tuesday. And it was, dude, that place is going to be an absolute shit show. Like, it is going to be, it is going to be dirty and just good. Have fun.
I'm going to try to go. I got some people that they already got an Airbnb, so I'm going to try to go.
See, you got that. You got it down.
Well, there y'all have it, man. DJ Ashton Martin.
Enjoy that rattle.
Man.
Snow.
Hell of a
DJ Royal. That's a hell of a fucking show, man.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Oh, man. We appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, man.
Until next time.
We out.
This has been brought to you by Dialectic Media Group and SlaboArts.com. Thank you for watching. Love.
I'ma give them what they want. She gon' give me what I want. I'ma give them what they want.